As a makeup lover, I always find it fascinating to see what kind of hairstyles and makeup girls in different countries choose. Today, I'm going to recreate the look I wore for a photo shoot in Copenhagen and share a few thoughts on what makeup tricks can help you get that effortless Scandinavian vibe. Of course, everyone has their own style, but I noticed a few trends that really stand out there. Let's get started. So before we even touch makeup, let's talk skin. When I think about Scandinavian girls, I immediately picture those influencers who I think basically invented the clean girl makeup aesthetic. And then the rest of the world just followed along. Everything feels effortless and very glow focused, so makeup almost feels optional. So for skincare, I'm starting with a hydrating serum just to boost the moisture and give the skin that fresh plump base. And then I'm mixing a few tiny drops into my daily moisturizer and applying it all over the face. I feel like that subtle warmth is such a big part of the Scandinavian vibe. Of course, this won't give an instant result, but it's one of those small steps that adds a soft, natural radiance over time. For lips, I'm going in with a hydrating balm, just to smooth everything out and make them look a little fuller. And that's our skin prep done. Now we can move on to the actual makeup. Alright, let's get into foundation. Today I'm using one of my absolute favorites, the Gosh foundation drops from Gosh Copenhagen. Very on brand for this video, I feel like. I'm taking just a small amount and I don't want to fully cover my skin. Just soften a bit of redness, even things out, makes everything look a little more balanced. I'm applying it with a dense synthetic brush and really blending it out with a thin layer. Just stretching it across the face, making sure there are no lines, no patches, nothing sitting on top. I also take whatever's left on the brush over my eyelids, just to keep everything unified. And this is where we have to stop ourselves from doing too much, because this look is not about coverage, it's about healthy skin. So if it looks like skin, we're doing it right. And to make it look even more natural, I'm going in with a sponge. I'm not adding extra product, I'm just pressing it into the skin to pick up the excess and thin everything out a little more. It just melts the foundation in and makes it look softer and more seamless. Again, the goal is not coverage, the goal is skin. Next, I'm going in with concealer. This one is from Art Deco. I'm applying it under the eyes, focusing on the inner and outer corners. And I also take a little bit onto the lid just to brighten and even everything out. First, I blend it out with the same brush I used for foundation. Then I switch to a smaller brush to refine the edges. What I really like about this concealer is that it stays movable and doesn't dry into a stiff layer. So it's perfect for under eye. It's lightweight, flexible, and has light to medium coverage. Exactly what we need for this kind of look. And finally, I gently tap it in with my fingers to really melt it into the skin. Blending is honestly the most important part here. I want all the products to flow into each other, so there is no visible layers. Now that the lighter concealer is blended, I'm switching to something a bit stronger. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer, and I'm using it very strategically. Just tiny amount exactly where I need a little more coverage. Mostly in the inner and outer corners of the eyes, around the nose, and on any small imperfections I want to soften. Once the under eye concealer sets slightly, I gently press it in with a dense brush and then tap over everything with my fingers to melt the layers together. I really love this technique, starting with a lighter concealer as a base and then layering a more full coverage formula only where it's actually needed. It keeps the skin looking natural because we're not adding heavy products everywhere. We're just placing coverage with intention. The goal is always the same, nothing heavy, just clean, even skin with a little extra help where we need it. Now that the base is looking even and fresh, it's time for glow. I'm taking my Dior highlighter palette and mixing a soft golden shade with a frosty white. First, I'm applying it with a fluffy brush to the inner corners and lightly over the lid. Since we haven't set the base yet, the skin is still slightly tacky, and that actually helps. The powder really melts into the foundation and creates this beautiful glow instead of sitting on top. Then I add a touch to the bridge of the nose and a little above the lip. After that, I switch to a larger fluffy brush and lightly sweep it over the cheekbones and just under the brow. I'm only applying a very thin layer, just where the light would naturally hit. And immediately we get that subtle fresh shine. I feel like glow is one of the key elements for this look. And to finish it off, I'm taking the same sponge we used for foundation. It just pushes everything together, so the glow feels like it's coming from within, not from stripe of products on top. The result is very soft and delicate, but still healthy and luminous. Alright, now it's time to set everything. We've been working with the creams so far, so I want to lock them in without killing the glow. I'm using my Laura Mercier translucent loose powder and a fluffy brush. The key here is a very light hand. I'm setting under the eyes first, then the forehead, around the nose, and basically the areas where I tend to get shiny. And then whatever's left on the brush, I lightly sweep over the rest of the face, just enough to make sure the foundation stays in place through the day. I don't want to look powdered or matte, I just want everything to feel secure, while the skin still looks fresh and alive. Now that the base is set, we can start bringing some color back into the face. I'm going in with a cream blush from Rhode in the shade Sleepy Girl. I like to place a little bit on my hand first and then pick it up with a fluffy brush. That way I have more control and the application stays soft. I start tapping it onto the cheeks and then gently blend it outward. On my fair skin, this shade actually works almost like a blush bronzer hybrid. It has a soft pink, slight reddish, slight bronzy tone on me, so I'm placing it a little differently than I would a traditional blush or bronzer. I'm adding it to the cheeks, slightly sculpting the cheekbones and temples, blending a bit into the crease to create a very soft diffused shadows. It just ties everything together. Then I add a tiny touch across the nose. I feel like that's what really gives that sun-kissed effect. And even though we already powdered the skin, layering a cream product on top actually brings back a bit of that inner glow. The skin still looks alive, just with a little more warmth, and the face starts to feel complete. Now I want to softly define the crease. Since we applied cream blush earlier, I'm lightly dusting a bit of translucent powder into the crease first, just to make sure everything blends smoothly and doesn't crease later. Then I'm taking a cool toned matte palette and picking up a soft, slightly lilac toned mid shade and sweeping it through the crease with a fluffy blending brush. And this tone blends beautifully with the Sleepy Girl shade we already have on the eyes. I'm blending it outward toward the outer corner and slightly onto the lid. This shade doesn't create a strong contrast against my skin, and that's intentional. When I think of Scandinavian makeup, I think low contrast. Usually it's very simple, almost monochromatic. One slightly blended shade across the lid and crease, maybe a minimal liner or sometimes no liner at all, just softly defined lashes. I really want to keep that vibe. I also sweep just a touch of that shade over the lower lid, and that's it for the eyeshadows. Alright, let's do the lashes. Today I'm using a brown mascara, the Maybelline Sky High. And I just want one clean, well-separated layer. No drama or heavy volume, I'm focusing more on shape and definition, making sure every lash is coated so the eye look more open. I feel like brown mascara is having a moment right now, but I'm not using it because it's trendy. I'm using it because for my coloring it simply makes more sense. Brown has lower contrast than black, and since this whole look is very minimal, very low contrast, brown just blends in better. It doesn't look separate from the rest of the face, it doesn't compete with the blush or the soft shadow, it just melts into the makeup. So, if you're blonde with fair skin like me and you feel like black mascara sometimes look too harsh, try brown. It can feel softer, lighter, and more effortless. But it doesn't mean black mascara is bad, I just use it for different looks. At the same time, if you have naturally dark lashes, strong brows, dark hair, brown mascara might actually look a bit washed out on you because your features already carry contrast. So it really depends on your coloring. Experiment and see what works for you. Now let's move on to the brows. I'm using a tinted brow gel in a soft brown shade. It doesn't give heavy pigment, it's very light, almost translucent, but that's exactly what I want. First, I brush it through the entire brow, lightly coating the hairs and adding just a touch of color to the skin underneath. Then, I comb the hair slightly upward to create a more lifted, elongated shape and place everything where I want it. After that, I gently tap over the brows with my fingers to remove any excess product. And now I just let the gel set. It has pretty strong hold, so once it's in place, it's not going anywhere. While that's setting, I'm removing any tiny mascara marks from the lid. I'm using a clean, dry Q-tip and lightly flicking them off. It's important that the Q-tip is dry and the mascara has already set, so it won't smear. It just flakes off easily. And last little trick. I gently press my fingers against the lashes and lift them slightly with no extra tools. Just a soft little lift while the mascara is almost dry but still flexible enough to shape. Okay, let's finish with lips. I'm starting with a lip liner in a beautiful cool tone shade, Maybelline Gone Grayish. It's that slightly grayish, brownish, complex tone that feels right to this look. I define the lips first and then fill them in completely. I feel like Scandinavian makeup is less about bold eyes and more about the lips. It's usually a simple combo, liner and gloss or liner and balm, something soft and shiny. The tones are muted, slightly brown, slightly cool, sometimes almost gray, or just clear gloss. Once the liner is blended, I'm going in with a gloss. Today, it's the Dior Lip Maximizer. It adds that subtle glossy finish and a tiny touch of coolness that ties everything together with the eyes and the overall aesthetic. If I had fuller lips, this would probably look even more dramatic, but you can still get a very beautiful effect anyway. To finish, I lightly diffuse the edges with a clean brush so the liner melts into the gloss. And that's the makeup done. It's light, airy, almost weightless. It feels effortless, like there is no makeup, but at the same time everything looks polished and softly sun-kissed. And now let's finish the whole look with the hair. Alright, my hair is clean, I just blow dried it quickly, no real styling yet. I did use heat protection earlier, so we're good here. Today I'm going for soft waves with the middle part, but first I need to get rid of some volume at the roots. I'm applying Bad Hat Queen for a Day from TG and then blow drying it in. And yes, I know this product is usually for volume, but I'm actually using it to control the shape and smooth everything down. I'm using a round brush to smooth the ends and pull the hair slightly forward. I'm drawing the roots downward to remove any lift, especially around the face. I really want the hair to fall straight from the part. And then we'll add just a little soft wave. When I think about Scandinavian hair, I usually see three main vibes. Either it's super slick with the middle part, no lift at the roots, hair sitting very close to the head, or it's that big Dyson blowout moment, very round and airy. Or if we're talking about real life, it's just natural texture, soft waves, nothing overworked. So today I want something in between. Clean middle part, no volume, and very soft movement that works with the makeup. Next, I'll go in with a curling iron, and I won't really curl the ends, so it's important they already look smooth and neat. Okay, look at this. The base already looks smooth and clean. Perfect starting point. Now we're ready to add some waves. I'm using a 25mm curling iron today. It's heating up and I'm going to start by sectioning the hair into parts. Instead of sectioning about the temples, I'm splitting it right at the temples. That separates the top from the bottom, but in a very natural way. Now we're curling. I take a small section and rub it away from the face. And the most important part here is the end of the strand. I don't rub the tip tightly around the barrel. The very end barely touches the curling iron. That's what gives us that soft, relaxed finish. As soon as I release the curl while it's still warm, I gently pull it downward. That already relaxes it. I don't want tight curls, I just want direction and soft bend. Even though I'm rubbing close to the roots, I always guide the strand downward when I release it. No extra lift. We're keeping everything controlled and close to the head. I finish the bottom section and move to the top. I separate the curled pieces from the ones I haven't touched yet. Flip everything over my shoulder so I can see clearly and keep curling away from the face in small sections. When I get to the front pieces, I divide them into at least two small sections. I don't want one big heavy curl here. Smaller pieces look much more natural. You can see that I'm not wrapping the hair very tightly around the barrel here. The sections are not sitting super close to each other. They are slightly stretching along the curling iron. That's what creates this elongated, relaxed wave instead of a tight spiral. Especially around the face, this makes a huge difference. The waves look softer and more effortless. Alright, the curls are done. Now I want to let everything cool down before finishing the look. So far, I really love how this is looking. Alright, a few minutes have passed and the waves are completely cool now. And now we can finish the style. First, I'm taking a brush and gently brushing everything through. This connects all the separate curls into one soft, unified wave. And look at that, it looks much more effortless already. Once everything is blended together, I go in with my fingers and lightly break it up even more, just to make it feel lived in and natural. Eventually, it should just turn into this soft, beautiful movement. But honestly, I already love it. So now there is only one final step, changing the outfit. Okay, the look is complete. Looks like everything came together perfectly. I love how soft and effortless this look feels. Fresh skin, minimal eyes, glossy lips, relaxed waves, light but still polished. This is just my personal interpretation, inspired by what I noticed during my trip, and I really enjoyed bringing this look to life. I had the best time walking along the water, feeling the wind, taking photos, and honestly, this makeup fit the whole vibe so well. Would you wear this kind of makeup? What do you think are the key beauty details in the Scandi girl look? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!